Hello, welcome back to Metalhead Nation Garage. I'm Chris, your host today, and hey, we're going to talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2022 inductees today. Hey, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. All right, let's go on to the inductees of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for 2022. It was featuring Pat Benatar, Eurythmics, Eminem, Carly Simon, Duran Duran, Lionel Richie, Judas Priest, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis. It was a good group of bands in here this time, 2022. And we'll just kick it off and just start talking about Pat Benatar. Wow, been a long time coming for Pat Benatar. With her history of songs, her histories of making it in, how tough it was for her when she broke into the Rock Hall of Fame. She had incredible hits. Started in the early '80s. You're talking about Heartbreaker, Love is a Battlefield, and my favorite, Hell is for Children, Promises in the Dark, Invincible. She really changed the face for women coming up in rock and roll, and well deserving of this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame honor. She performed on the hall and was really good. Played her hits, scorched through the set. It is very good and well deserving for her and Neil. This duo, man, they came on, tearing it up. So it was really good to see these people who's been in classic rock for years, be certified as a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. It took them a long time. I've got questions. I'm gonna ask for your comments on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because a lot of people frown upon them. I as well, and we'll get into that later after we mention all the bands that was honored this year for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We'll move on to the next one, and that would be the Eurythmics. Great band back in the day. I don't know if you remember. I know there'd be some of you remember. When radio was there, they played all kinds of them. I remember listen to AM when I came up, and and it changed over to FM. But the Eurythmics, they was on the same radio station I listened to Judas Priest. They played it all as far as pop and rock and heavy metal. So it was really a different time there. Nowadays you have certain channels that play, country, of course, rock, hard rock, heavy metal. It was different when I was growing up. We had to listen to the radio. We didn't have Spotify. We didn't have, Amazon Music. And you could go on and name a bunch of these social media outlets. So it was really cool to hear that vast of bands on here. That is really different. So, the Eurythmics, great band. Again, back in the 80s, they came out, Sweet Dreams, which, I think that's had several different remakes of artists doing it. Great song. Here Comes the Rain Again, Miracle of Love, Love is a Stranger, There Must Be an Angel. It goes on. Annie Lennox is one of the greatest songwriters, a female songwriter in the world, but well deserving of it. Missionary Man. They had a lot of great hits here, and well deserving of our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame honor. Have no issues with Eurythmics being in there. They've stood the test of time too, but a different band. Maybe they could have started the new wave era when it came in, but I'll let you decide on that. But well deserving of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee for sure. And then, we got a different one here. This I listened to Carly Simon, another inductee, great artist. Oh my gosh, she made the rounds there. It was 70s she came out. I mean, James Taylor married to him. She went supposedly with Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones. They supposedly maybe one of her biggest hits, "You're So Vain," was made for Mick Jagger. So, but she had outstanding hits here. She'd been around a while. She actually didn't perform on this year. She had a little illness in her family, her sister, and wanted to spend time with her. But again, her hits, "You're So Vain," "Coming Around Again," "You Belong to Me," "That's the Way I've Always Heard," "Nobody Does It Better." I mean, just some great hits in the 70s. For Carly Simon, well deserving of it. She is what I like about these musicians, and a lot of people don't realize these classic rockers, these heavy metal people, they are singer-songwriters and performers. They actually, compose it. I mean, back, Elton John talked back in the day when he wanted to collaborate with people, he went with the country stars, and he was so amazed that the country stars was not songwriters. They was just performers. Kind of like today when you have these shows, American Idol or The Voice and stuff. These guys, they're just coming up singing, artists' songs, and it's a big success. They get big ratings, but I think them shows take out of being an artist. You composing music, just going out and doing your own thing instead of singing hits from artists of the past and maybe getting a record deal. And what are you going to do there? You're going to sing somebody else's songs, the record label songs. And Pat Benatar talked for that for years. John Mellencamp, they wanted to do their thing, not what the record label wanted. So most of the artists that has made it through the test of time, they compose themselves. So it's a different era in the music right now. But Carly Simon, a good one there. Well deserving of it, no doubt about it. Again, one of the greatest female artists too. There's female artists getting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which are well deserving of it for sure. Hey, we'll move on to the next nominee, which was Duran Duran. I like these guys. Actually, these guys, probably was the new wave era, making it through the rock charts back in the day, back in the 80s. I mean, man, wow, they had some great hits too, well deserving of this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee. I mean, you couldn't, their big hits, of the 80s, "Save a Prayer," "Girls on Film," "The Wild Boys," "A Matter of Feeling," "A View to Kill." I mean, the hits, they just go on, and it just a really great band, really a touring band too, put on a great show. Well deserving of this. I know their original guitarist Taylor, I know he's having some health issues right now, and he couldn't be here for their performance. But really deserving of a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee is Duran Duran. I'm moving on to that, and the biggest one probably should have been on there for a while, but there's not many heavy metal bands in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's only 3 of them. And, it's Black Sabbath, Metallica, and this year, 2022, Judas Priest. What a band. They had been over the years. I mean, they started out in the late 60s, went through the 70s, really roared through the 80s. They had some great hits of the 80s. I mean, that British Steel album, it can stand the test of time. They are, wow, that album was from 1 to the beginning, they really burned up the charts there. You couldn't beat them. I mean, what'd you have? Breaking the Law. A lot of, Painkiller, Turbo Lover, Electric Eye. I mean, you had a lot of great stuff going on there with Judas Priest, and they, compare them with Iron Maiden. They're not as big as Iron Maiden nowadays, but and it could be the changes in the band. Rob left for a while, but getting back to their Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, they well deserving of it. They've been around. They stand the test of time. And they finally got in, so kudos to them. And one last issue I'd like to talk about is, and get your opinions, Dolly Parton was into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I think this is what is all, about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why would you put a country star in there? Or put it this way, is the Country Music Award Association going to put Tom Petty in there? Are they going to put any rock acts in there? I can tell you right now, they're not. So I didn't understand that. Dolly Parton's a great musician. Great. And, well deserving of all of her country music. She stood up when she first started. I mean, singer, songwriter, one of the very few of the old school country that did her own songs, that performed them. I mean, very talented musician. Well deserving of every country music award ever. But Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee and award, didn't get it. Put on a good performance. She made a song for it. It was good. I was happy with it. But why? Give me your comments on that. Tell me your comments. Do you think she should have been in there? No? Hey, let us know your comments here at Metalhead Nation Garage. That'll conclude this episode. Give us a thumbs up. And again, subscribe to the channel.